Hey, what's up guys? I'm RoberOnocle, and I am here with a friend of mine named Keon. What's up, Keon?
Hello, Robert. Yours?
Alright, and this little series thing I'm doing called Outlaw Thinking is a little filler I've been thinking over for a while now and everything. Thought it up in the shower, actually. But, I figured with my upload schedule not being the most, active, and everything, because I do this stuff like monthly, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly. It just kind of depends on what's going on and everything. And, school's slowing down and everything and such. So, I thought, why not just have conversations with friends and everything and, just back it up with some game footage and, call it a day and everything. And it's the kind of filler I'd be kind of happy to do and everything, because it's still productive, and everything. Still won't have the editing standards or anything that, like my videos on like other Zelda stuff do and all that. But I still figure it's just something nice to do, in the meantime, So, as you might have guessed from the title of today's video and everything, we're going to talk about open world games and everything. And it's something me and Keon have been talking about in school just a little bit. We touch on it every once in a while and everything, but, not too much. But, so yeah, Keon, we'll just start with you and everything. What is your opinion on open world games? Like in general.
In general, I believe that open world games are very, very wonderful. Yeah, they're really good. I always enjoy exploring a new world.
Right.
Something just a lot more different than the world that I have to see every day. And I just find that really cool. Just getting to see like these new beasts and these big environments and all this other crazy futuristic stuff. Is sometimes it's just an experience. That's all I have to say.
I get you. And my take on it and everything is, I like a good open world game and everything, and when it's got a decent amount of things to do in it, and I felt that's why I like Zelda as much as I do and everything, because it has a good balance of that open world exploration and everything, contrary to popular modern day belief and everything. Like, yeah, we haven't had a Zelda game as open as the first one and everything, but I still think that future titles, minus a few exceptions like Forza's Adventures, have really flourished upon the exploration and everything, having a good balance of, main quest stuff and, open world stuff, and having the world open up, Yeah. You get me and everything. So, Keon and everything, like, how much do you, like, in terms of open world, just a curious question and everything, how much do you think is, like, too much in an open world game before, like, you feel like you get overwhelmed? Because some games, kind of push that limit sometimes and everything. Games we've had in the past and everything, like Minecraft and even like games like Terraria to a certain degree, like it gets kind of big sometimes. So do you feel that there's a certain point where like it just hits its limit?
Indeed, I do. Let's just address a very anticipated upcoming game, which is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Guys, Marky, you're gonna get me shot for this, man.
I'm sorry, I have to drop the bomb right now. A lot of people have already seen your past video.
Yeah.
Yes, about The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and all the trailers that they've shown us. A lot of people, it's been pretty much confirmed that it wasn't all to the world, even though we've seen things like massive landscapes and different landscapes, all of the good stuff.
Right, we've seen like 4 different trailers and like it's still like barely any of it. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, it's barely any from what Nintendo's been telling us.
Right.
And I think that will be a little too much, because we've seen huge amounts of the world in some of those trailers.
Yeah, like some of that was like pretty big, like, yeah,
very big. And to just be told that the world is actually bigger than that is actually kind of shocking to me.
Right, for Zelda standards, for a Zelda game, if anything, like you're not quite ready for that, like.
Not at all. It's not like you're fixed onto like any tracks or anything. Hint, hint.
Oh, pandering. No, I'm gonna stop there. But yeah, I'm a bit the same way with it, especially with like Zelda for me and everything. Like I see, like with Breath of the Wild and everything. Like there's some things I do kind of like about, like the gameplay does look flourished, albeit it looks pretty interesting. I won't lie, the combat does look fascinating at some points. It looks extremely easy at some points though. Like, wow, like You know, all the slow-mo and the bullet time and everything. I'm like, it looks like you just take advantage of that and call it a day. Especially when they got that Metal Gear Rising-esque thing going on where you can just hit them in slow-mo and all that. And just, like, beat the crap out of them with that. So I'm like, you know, like, it looks fairly easy. But then there's other things I'm concerned about and everything like that. Like, the dungeons and the scaling of locations and everything. Because, like, one thing that I noticed about Zelda 1 is that if you go to some places early, like, you're gonna get your butt kicked. Like, seriously.
Indeed.
There are some places where you are just not meant to be there yet. Like, after the first dungeon, you can go straight to the 8th dungeon, like, the second to last. And, wow, that is hard. Like, that is insanely hard. If you want to get the Lion's Key, like, that is something. Like, and especially since Link controls, like, a tank in that game.
Feels so weird.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, you're gonna have a bad time with that. But I kind of feel that's like the same way, and I actually discussed this with my mom and everything because she's a big Zelda fan too and everything. But like, she felt like, you know, like, it's just kind of like, how would that work properly with a Zelda game and everything? Because I mean, Zelda games already aren't the fastest paced games in the world, you know, just gonna come out there and say it and everything. You know, I mean, like, you got like games like Twilight Princess, which had a bit more adrenaline to it and everything.
And you have games like Four Swords Adventures.
The Four Swords Adventures was like really, really fast, but that's a top-down. Top-down Zelda games tend to be faster anyway, but you know. But of course, alas, this is not a top-down Zelda game. This is a 3D one, as they've clearly showed us in several trailers. They're like, this is a 3D game. You know, like whether you like it or not, it's just going to be 3D. So. And like, you know, like I said, it does look good in certain parts and everything. Like, you know, over the past, few months and everything, I haven't had the best history with Breath of the Wild and everything. People, especially over at Zelda, what is that, Zelda Universe, that article website or something like that. Like, they really don't like me there. Like, they
last line of the rant low-key gave me cancer.
That was my favorite quote. But yeah, people really don't like me there and everything. But like. I mean, it still looks good. Like, I'm not gonna. It still looks good. It's still like a good game. It's just, I mean, for like Zelda standards, you know, not sure I'm too big on that, you know, and everything.
Yeah, it's not. We just know Zelda for being the, you know, dungeon explorer-esque kind of adventure.
And you know, like.
But no, this.
Yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, this one looks like it's going towards more of a survival RPG kind of thing with like cooking food. And all that other good stuff.
Yeah, and having to hunt the stuff. Having like hunter food and everything, like the meat, you know, like.
Yeah, hunting and all that. It kind of gears towards, you know, something like Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's another open world game, and it's probably the gameplay footage that you'll be seeing right now.
Yeah, probably, because that's, yeah, and everything. And you know, I kind of feel about that and everything. And I touched upon this a little bit with my my last video that I made actually and everything about Breath of the Wild and everything. I'm like, when it comes to Breath of the Wild, you know, like the whole survival-y thing and the world being like, what is it gonna be like, bigger than Xenoblade Chronicles X or something like that? And that game was huge, so you know.
That game is massive.
Like, it's indescribably big and all that. I'm like, you know, and maybe we'll have a decent amount of stuff to do, but I think like that's just kind of too much, you know, if you get me. Like, I do like to have, I like to have plenty of options in my games. I mean, we played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. That game's got plenty of options, you know, and plenty of ways you can go on it.
And it doesn't have the colossal world.
Yeah, and everything. But like that's the thing with Monster Hunter too, because like, you know, you can do all these quests and everything, but they're all in a familiar area and everything. Like, and stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles X, they'll have you going here, there, going there, you know, like. And everything, and it just gets a bit overwhelming and everything, and I'm not sure if I'm quite ready to deal with that in a Zelda game, if that makes sense and all that.
It does make a little sense.
And
just going from this area to that area with no type of like preparation of what the area will be.
Yeah,
that's a thing with a lot of open world games, such as Skyrim.
Yeah.
I know that in Skyrim there's like snow-based areas, there's like woodland areas.
Yeah, all that good stuff, dungeons and all that, but
different monsters and stuff you encounter there. That's all a good part of the exploration. But
and another thing we've talked about Breath of the Wild and everything, the dungeon difficulty, the difficulty scaling and everything. That is something I am very concerned about, because I'm just not a fan of, like, if they're gonna make it as open as it can be and all that. I'm not really a fan of just going to dungeons of different difficulty or something like that. Like,
neither am I.
Yeah, like, like, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna warn you ahead of time or something like that, but like, I mean, can you really imagine? You find a dungeon, you go in there, and the game's like, oh, you can't really go there unless you want to get your butt handed. It's like, that's just, I don't want to run into that situation or something like that. And then I want to run to dungeons like that are just like extra easy, like, you know, or something like that.
Perhaps there will be like keys or something. Like after you beat one dungeon, you get a key, and then you can unlock like the door to another dungeon.
That would actually fix. That would actually, well, it wouldn't completely fix it because it's still open. That would still throw the difficulty all over the place, but it'd still be a better thing. Like if you have progressive dungeons, like you beat this dungeon, then you can go to the next one, and you know that one's a little harder, and you can go to this one, that one, and they just get gradually harder. So it's like you discover a line of dungeons essentially, that would be pretty cool actually.
Linearity in the dungeon design.
But I mean, let's be honest, is Nintendo really gonna do that? Like, I doubt they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I doubt it as well.
Cause I mean, like, from what have we seen in the trailers and stuff like that, it's a huge panel towards the modern crowd that screams to the top of their lungs that we get an open world game. Like, everything has to be open world now. Like, granted, but stuff like, excuse me, what were you gonna say?
I just said, yeah, everything has to be open world. I have no idea where that actually came from, though.
It showed up.
The fad for open world games ever come from?
Right, like it showed up like somewhere like in the mid 2000s. Then it kind of slowed down a bit. Then like in like 2013, like it sprung up again, and it's just been rapid. Like, you know what? I almost have a feeling it has something to do with Minecraft, but I have no proof to prove that or anything. But I mean, that game exploded, and it's now the second most searched word on YouTube. Actually, last I checked.
That's nuts.
And YouTube is like the most like used thing on like the internet practically these days. So you know,
nuts.
And everything. I get to see like, hey, this grabbed people's attention, so let's copy off of that. And then you know you had this sudden flourish of like open world games popping up here and there, and that actually would explain the sudden popularity of survival open world games we have gotten over like the past like 4 years. So you know,
yeah,
and everything. But yeah, but you know, like in terms of like open world games, you know, like in terms of size, like it comes back to what I was telling you about in Zelda and everything. When games like Ocarina of Time, like the game is colossal, like it's really big and everything.
Yeah,
but like
especially for its console standards.
Yeah, it's almost like what 20 years old, and like I mean for a game like that, it's a pretty big game. Like it kind of surprised me with it and everything. But I mean, look at how big that game is, and I mean, when you do side quests and everything, like it's still like, it's not overwhelming or anything.
Manageable.
Yeah, and everything. Yeah. It's not like you're, and you know, chances are Breath of the Wild is gonna have some kind of teleportation. Well, yeah, they probably had that teleporting system or like fast travel system with those like those resurrection towers that they showed us, like in the gameplay footage or something like that. Something like that. You probably have that. But fast traveling can only take you so far.
Yeah. Even though it does only take you so far, I believe that it's kind of a necessity in like open world games because
it kind of is.
You know, like Xenoblade Chronicles X or Breath of the Wild, when it's just a giant map that all you have to like take you from one place to another is either like a skell or like a horse. Then that's just gonna take a while.
Right, right.
And you know, side quests can drag on for needless amounts of time.
Right, and you know, like I trust that they're gonna do it right because fast traveling has been around in Zelda games pretty much since the first game actually.
Yes,
so
wait, has it?
Yeah, the warp whistle. Granted, it wasn't the most refined version of it, and it just took you to some random spot, but it was fast traveling. So, and yeah, but so they're definitely I have no doubts they're not gonna or I have no doubts they're gonna like put like the fast traveling stuff in it and everything. But I mean, like, like even like I said, everything like fast traveling can only go so far, if you, because like it's still you're jumping all over the place, or like, and like I said, you're getting all these options and everything, and I do like options in games, I do, and we're hitting a 15-minute mark, so we might have to cut this short or start wrapping it up, but I do like a lot of options in games and everything, but like I'm like, dang, like you're giving me all these options and everything.
There's too many options, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're gonna make a game that big, they have to do that. They're forced to do that, unless you want to have another like No Man's Sky, which I don't want that. No, No Man's Sky. I don't want that. I mean, I don't want that or anything, but like I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm really iffy about it, and what? And like I said, I'm not too big of a fan of how the Zelda series is going along with that, since it kind of did succumb to the crowd's cry for an open world game, like the way they see it too, you know, survival open world and everything. And like I've told a few people and everything, I'm like, I like Zelda. Well, that's no secret. That is no secret. A lot of people, anybody who's been on my channel for like since like mid 2016 knows that. Like they know I love Zelda and everything. But I'm like, if they're just gonna keep doing these games and stuff like that, where you get a lot of options and everything, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna stick around much longer for the Zelda series actually, because like, I mean, I could just barely do all the stuff in Xenoblade Chronicles X. I mean, and I put up with that stuff in my favorite series, you know, and stuff like that, where you know I'm always, I'm like, I'm not sure I'm too big of a fan of that kind of stuff, you know, and everything. I'm like, yeah, like I was telling some people, I'm like, I'll probably just move on to something else, like maybe Earthbound or something. I don't know, but you know,
Earthbound.
Or Mega Man, Doom. I don't know. I'll decide if it comes to that point. I'll decide what it is and everything. You know, I was talking to my mom and everything, and she seemed a bit shocked that I actually said that. But I'm like, you know, and everything, and I mean, she gets me really well and everything. But you know, I was just like, you know, that's not what I know the series for. You know,
it really isn't.
It's not what I know the series as, a survival open game that's just big and has all these options. I like the nice and simpler style of its open world gameplay and everything, and all that. Even
you don't know it is Skyrim.
Even with games like Spirit Tracks, which is like, I mean, yeah, Zelda 2 is bigger, but let's be honest, Spirit Tracks feels bigger on a scale. So you know,
yeah, you know, it's 3D.
Even with Spirit Tracks, I mean, that game was really big, but like, it still didn't feel too bad getting around or anything. You know,
not at all, really. Really. It was only really the train speed.
Yeah, the train speed, it was kind of an issue, but I didn't really mind it too much, you know.
Yeah, me neither.
And everything. And the side quests were still fun to do, but like, for something like I'm pretty sure something like Breath of the Wild, it'll feel like, think of like Spirit Tracks and everything. You're doing these side quests and stuff, but like you're doing it several times. Like it's weird how I think about it, because like, you know, it almost feels like it's destroying the pace in a sense, because you're just jumping around. But it's not so much slowing down the pace. It's just like the pace is really spazzy. If you get me.
It's all around the place.
Yeah. But okay, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. We should, or the 18-minute mark actually, but we're getting close to 20 minutes. We should. Yeah, we should probably somebody just sneezed in the background. Yeah, we should probably wrap it around. But yeah. So that's pretty much my opinion on open world games and everything. So you have anything else to say before we sign off?
Yes, I'll just leave with this quote. Open world games are nice, but when they have just too many just overwhelmingly things to do to like to sink so many hours in, like if you have to sink in over like 1,000 hours or something, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
And I agree with that. But yeah, Keon, it has been a pleasure talking to you and everything over this topic and everything. Yeah, we're getting close. We might want to stop this, but yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you and everything. Glad you were willing to come on and everything and talk to me about this really interesting topic.
Yeah, we could. Honestly, I wish we could have talked about more of the topic a bit more. Than we just kind of strayed to Breath of the Wild, but
yeah, but you know, it still kind of plays a role in everything.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest open world games that are coming out, so yeah, I suppose it's relevant.
You know, like since it's like, you know, like it's one of the biggest things coming out this year, so you know, it's pretty good to do that. But yeah, let's stop the side chatter. All right, guys, so I'm RoberOnocle, and this was Keon, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.